Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we're looking at the Marvel Legends San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Thor 5-pack BOR figure, which I wasn't familiar with this character at all ahead of time, so I can't tell you if it's accurate. I'm guessing it is, but it looks pretty cool. There's some pretty good things about this guy, and then some pretty lousy things as well, so we're going to talk about all of that. I think some of you guys are going to want to pick him up, and some of you are going to say, nah, I think I'll pass. So let's dive right into it. This guy stands about 20.5 centimeters, which makes him just about 8 inches, which is very big for most of the Build-A-Figures we've been getting. Obviously, this guy doesn't come as a Build-A-Figure, but it's pretty clear we're going to be using some of these parts again for a Build-A-Figure in the future. He does come with 2 accessories. We have his axe and we have his shield. The shield is super warped, but it does have some paint on it, so I like that. And then the little clip on it is just like the old Captain America shields, which I don't care for, but it is functional, so it's okay. Now, as far as the figure itself, the paint job is particularly nice. You can see throughout the chest and shoulder armor, there's a few different shades, and it looks really good. Makes the figure stand out very nicely on a shelf. We have a few different bits of paint for these wrist pieces, for the metal and then the fur. The belt has shading in it. They painted the gold thing. They painted the chainmail. No shading in this fur, though. Definitely would have looked better with shading on that. We do have some shading throughout the wraps on the boots, though, so that's nice. And then the head is full of shading. The horns have really nice coloration to them. And then so does the beard, except for where it connects to the mouth. Where it connects to the mouth, it looks like he just ate some spaghetti very sloppily. It's not ideal. The rest of the face does look very nice, though, with some shading around the eyes. The lips are painted, and then the eyes and eyebrows are very clean. So ultimately, it does look very nice overall. Just a few issues here and there with the paint, but very nice looking figure. You'll notice he's got some very floppy joints, and if this is a sign of how the figure is going to be in the future when they reuse a lot of these parts, that's not good. Very floppy. And since he's big, he's heavy, and these floppy legs don't hold him up very well. And then there's another issue which we'll get to in a minute. As far as the articulation on the head, it's a double ball peg, which is kind of unique. We don't see that too often with our Legends, and it doesn't really afford too much range. It's mostly just going to be a swivel. Now, some of that is due to the head shape, but some of that is due to the range on the actual articulation. You can rotate it around. The head can move around on that top ball peg, but that ball peg, as you saw, doesn't actually move much on its own, so you're not going to get the best range out of it. I mean, beyond what you would normally have with the hinged ball peg. So it's kind of strange. The hinged ball peg does allow for better range vertically. These guys are connected to the chest, but they're kind of floating up there in the air, so you still have pretty good range, so no real issues there. Full rotation on that ball hinge. Bicep swivel works okay, but you'll notice the bicep and tricep go pretty far up onto the body, so you're kind of going to be bumping into the shoulder as you rotate it. It's not a big deal, but it's worth noting. For the elbow, you get a single joint, which works well enough. It's not quite 90 degrees, but you do get extra rotation out of that, so if you really need that, you'll have it. This is a floating wrist piece, so it won't really get in the way of anything. Then the wrists have a swivel and a hinge. For the torso, you would think we have a diaphragm joint in there, but we don't. It's just an ab crunch, which doesn't really work very well. You just get a little bit of wiggle room there and a waist swivel. This is split up right here, so you have pretty decent range on the hips. Now that I look at this, I'm thinking these are the same hips as Sandman and Absorbing Man, which would explain why they're no good, because they were no good before. I didn't notice that. I think that is the case, though. So range-wise, you go pretty far out to the side. Really no problem at all. That's awesome. They're pretty much your classic-style Marvel Legends ball hinges, so that's why you get really good range. They do go forward, but you still run into that issue of it not wanting to go and then being floppy, so it's not great. You do have a thigh swivel in there, so that's good. Double jointed knee works pretty well. Not too bad. I like that. There is technically a shin swivel in here, but it's not too functional because you have to do it down here at the foot, and then the whole thing kind of fights you, so it's not great. And then for the foot, you can't really bring it forward, which is very problematic for posing this guy, because with the floppy hips and not being able to move his feet, he tends to fall over very easily, so be aware of that. And then you can move the foot back pretty far, so that's okay. You know, it's just, it looks good, but then they didn't execute very well on the articulation and sturdiness of the figure. It's just kind of a bummer, because you want to display this guy. He looks nice. He's going to make your Legends collection look pretty cool, but then he just falls over all the time. So That's a bummer. So, I don't know. If you really want one, go ahead and get it. If you don't, then you probably won't be missing too much. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, and all kinds of other fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.